Welcome everyone. My name is Nancy. I am the exercise physiologist in the Zakim Center for Integrative Therapies and Healthy Living. So today we're going to talk a little bit about a split squat, a progression to a reverse lunge. So single leg strength is really important. It's something, every time we walk up and down stairs, and even theoretically as we're walking, but certainly if you're jogging, that's time on one limb. So we want to make sure that we are incorporating these kind of moves into our routine. Squats are sort of the bread and butter because we do that movement of sitting and standing all the time, but we do want to be individually working our legs. Often there's a little imbalance from one side to the other, so it can be helpful to work on each side individually. So we're going to start with a split squat variation because this one has slightly less of a balance component, but it does still have a balance component to it. So anytime we're doing balance, you're going to want a wall, you're going to want a chair that is not on wheels, and hopefully with this breakdown, this will give you some options and ways that you can find a version that works for you, even if you do, have no cartilage in your knees, like I do, some ways to work through some injuries and pain and hopefully find a range of motion that feels tolerable for you. So I'm going to turn and face the side here. So I'm going to have my left hand on the wall, and then it's my left leg that's going to stay in the front. I'm going to step back with my right foot, and you'll notice I have landed on my right toes. So it's not like some of you who may do yoga where you land with a turned foot. You want to be in more of a crescent lunge if you're a yogi, but for the rest of us, just on that back toe. So the distance here will be different for all of us. You don't want to be too narrow, but you also don't want to be too far back. So kind of play a little bit there. You're on that back foot. I've got my left hand on the wall or the chair, and I am going to sink down, and then I'm going to come back up. Now you're going to sink down as far as feels good in your body. Can your right knee get all the way to the floor? Great. Do you get a lot of pain if you do that? Then we don't do that. So you find a range of motion. The other option, if your knees are really unhappy today, if they're a little wonky today, you can come partway down and just hold. Sometimes it's the up and down that's irritating. But again, you could just come partway down and partway up. You don't actually have to go all the way to the floor to get the benefit. The other thing to be mindful of here is our front knee. It is tracking either straight above the bottom ankle. Now, the front knee can travel more forward. If you can accomplish that pain-free, I am fine with that. But for some of us, as we drive this knee forward, we have more weight going forward into our knee joint, it doesn't feel good. So then we try to stay more perpendicular right above the ankle. Now I will say, if your knee is coming forward, you do want to make sure that heel is still in contact with the floor. So you're not like this. That heel's still grounded, it's just you're shifting some of that weight forward and back. So this is our last one here. I'm going to come up. I'm going to shake this out a little bit. So now I'm going to turn to the side here and show you how you would progress. So that was technically a split squat. And then where we're going to transition this into is a reverse lunge. Now you'll see a slightly different vantage point for me here. Now I'm going to keep my right leg forward and my right hand on the chair. So same thing, I step back, I'm on that toe. Also notice that my legs are on train tracks. I'm not on a tightrope. I'm on train tracks, one leg on each train track. And now I go down and up. So here's the split squat variation we just did. So if we come forward, what the reverse lunge is going to look like is you start forward, you step back, you land on the back toes, you sink down, you come up, you come forward. So it's like 4 moves. It's a step back, a lower down, up, forward. So obviously this version requires a bit more balance because you have to step forward and back every time. You have to land on your toe. You have to be hip distance apart. But hopefully these versions, the static split squat, shorter range split squat, full range split squat, reverse lunge, gives you ways, as you get stronger, to keep working single leg strength. Please join us for more videos soon. Thank you.